Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the 9 p.m. live English news edition. The headlines. The President of the Republic discusses all the aspects of government policy. New Somali Prime Minister wins parliamentary confidence in Somalia. Hello, welcome to our newsroom for having the news in details. We must remain vigilant with regard to COVID-19, which is what the President of the Republic declared in substance in an exclusive interview granted to the RTD on the occasion of the political re-entry. The President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Margele, in a roundup of national issues with the RTD, was questioned on numerous questions and answered about COVID-19 that despite the victories won on this pandemic in our country, the time was ripe for vigilance because the risk that has not been totally ruled out. As soon as this pandemic, which has affected the whole world, broke out in our country, we launched an action plan which consisted of carrying out a massive screening of around 7%, about 74,000 people in total. In our country, this disease has affected about 5,400, all of them have been cured except for 61 people who died as a result of the consequences of this disease. We have committed our own state funds, to which we have added a significant part of national solidarity, whether from private or state companies. For the moment, I can say that we have the health situation under control with regard to the COVID-19 may. Vigilance is still required for the simple reason that the pandemic has not been totally eradicated and that it may, like some countries, re-emerge. The President of the Republic was questioned by our colleagues, Mohammed Dahi and Awa Abdi, on many topics. Issues of national interest, such as national education, particularly on the quality of education, and the implementation of the national policy of mass schooling. In this respect, the President of the Republic indicated that both qualities and quantities go hand in hand. He said that the state has implemented all means so that every child in Djibouti can benefit from appropriate education, even in the most remote corners of the country, where the state has built schools, which aims to educate all children in Djibouti. The search for quality education is also a normal part of the programs undertaken by the Ministry of National Education, which I would like to congratulate in passing. In this respect, the opening of a School of Excellence is a perfect illustration of this quest for quality. In this quest for quality, first of all, the number of children per class had to be reduced and the system of morning and afternoon classes had to be established in place of the 2 streams in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. On question about the new objective of the health system, the President of the Republic answered, as far as health is concerned, we have set up a system of universal health insurance, which must cover all the health needs of the population, both those who have the means and those who do not. And it is a system which guarantees health for all. In order to meet this new health insurance objective, we have adopted the polyclinic system, which has been very successful in other countries such as Cuba. In the capital alone, we have built 5 well-equipped polyclinics where all the specialties are found and which thus guarantee the health needs of the population. Now, regarding a question on the absence of a political opposition on the national scene, the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Margele, said that the exercise of an opposition policy is always beneficial to the country because it is only with the combination of all political vision that we can move forward. It must also be a constructive opposition debating with the government on its policy in place. But if it is a question of systematically denying the exercise of power by another, even if it is not on a position whose role is limited only to insult and slander. The democratic exercise of politics is governed by laws that guarantee this exercise, but they must be respected even if one is of a different vision. Regarding the current marches organized by supporters of the President of the Republic calling for the announcement of his candidacy in the next presidential election, the head of state replied that this was not his major concern at the current time, or he said other challenges to be met. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Margele, received today, Wednesday, at the Republic Palace, an emissary bearer of a message from his Southern Sudanese counterpart, Mr. Salva Kiir. The emissary of the South Sudanese president, who is none other than the country's Minister of Presidential Affairs, Niall Deng, was referring to an invitation from President Kiir to his Djiboutian counterpart in connection with the participation in Juba towards the end of October of a ceremony for the signing of an inter-Sudanese peace agreement. The Southern Sudanese minister then took advantage of his audience with President Anglais to state his country's willingness to increase the level of exchanges and economic collaboration with the Republic of Djibouti. As a non-coastal country, South Sudan intends to ensure its economic and commercial exchanges through the infrastructures, particularly Djibouti's ports. During his meeting with the Djiboutian head of state, Mr. Niall Deng was accompanied by a high-level delegation from his country composed of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation of South Sudan, Mrs. Beatrice Kemisa, and the Director General of the Intelligence Bureau of this country, General Thomas Duwot Guet. Now moving to another subject now regarding this context, the chief of delegation made a statement. Let's listen to him.
I came, the accompanying delegation, to deliver a message to His Excellency President Anglais. The message revolves around an invitation, essentially, from our government to His Excellency to attend the official signing ceremony of the Sudan Peace Agreement that will be staged in Juba, the capital of South Sudan, Saturday the 3rd of October. And so would like His Excellency President Anglais to honor us with his presence among other leaders in the region. Also an opportunity to talk a little bit with His Excellency about the prospects for economic cooperation between the Republic of South Sudan and Djibouti. As you might know, South Sudan is a landlocked country, and we believe that it's possible to use the port of Djibouti for trade purposes and also to enhance cooperation between Djibouti and South Sudan.
The Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, received this morning in his office the Apostolic Nuncio of the Vatican, Antoine Camilleri, for his tour of contact. Discussion focused mainly on bilateral relations and cooperation between the Vatican and Djibouti. For his part, Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed welcomed the Vatican ambassador and assured him of his commitment and full availability to better fulfill his mission in Djibouti. It should be recalled that the Vatican has had a diplomatic representation in Djibouti since 2000, and this is exactly 20 years since the relation of friendship and fraternity between the two countries. The meeting was attended by the technical advisor Mr. Ali Silai Abdullah and the Bishop Djibouti Giorgio Bertin. Pursuant to Article 6 of the Standing Orders, the Speaker of the President of the National Assembly, His Excellency Mohammed Ali Hamid, invited the Bureau of Parliamentary Institution to prepare the ordinary session, which will start on October 1st. Thus, President Mohammed Ali Hamid, the first Vice President, the second Vice President, and the Quaestor Secretary, respectively, the Honorable Ilmi Absi Wais, Safia Ilmi Jibril, and Ibrahim Ahmed Abdu, exchanged and ruled on a set of measures, procedures, and regulations around allowing the elected representative of the people, in particular, to see activities to take place in the best possible condition. Secondly, the Bureau of the Assembly returned to the admissibility of the text of laws received during the intersessional period, planning the Conference of Presidents, which will have to transmit the state standards to different committees. Finally, in view of the exceptional circumstances inherent in COVID-19, the President and his colleagues agreed after dialogue on the appropriate mechanism for the midterm renewal of the statutory bodies of the national representation. Now, the Minister of Defense in charge of relation with the Parliament, Mr. Hassan Omar Mohammed, received on Wednesday, 23rd September 2020, the working visit of the Ambassador to the Republic of Philippines in the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Sulpicio Confiado. After the words of welcome, the two men then discussed the state of bilateral relations between the Republic of Djibouti and the Philippines, including cooperation in the field of defense. They discussed ways and means of promoting them. The Minister of Defense in charge of relations with the Parliament, Mr. Hassan Omar, also highlighted the remarkable work done by the Philippine ambassador to strengthen the friendly and cooperative relations between the two countries. Mr. Hassan also urged the Philippine ambassador to continue his effort to further continue the work. News in Somalia, the Prime Minister was announced this video with more details.
The motion of censure was supported by 170 of the 178 members of parliament, and Khair's ouster was immediately approved by President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, who had appointed him minister in February 2017. The deputies have arrived Saturday at the National Assembly to work on the organization of the next national elections in 2021. The parliamentarians accused the Prime Minister of failing to keep the government's promise to prepare a clear plan that paves the way for one-person elections and one vote in 2021. The President's office issued a statement indicating that Farmajo would soon appoint a new Prime Minister.
This is it for this edition of 9 p.m. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful evening.
Le ministère de l'Intérieur informe les citoyens que les inscriptions sur la liste électorale seront